Now, in addition to the philosophical study that we know as normative ethics, there are other normative studies about ethics that are philosophical studies. And we're going to discuss two of them right now, metaethics and applied ethics. And as I mentioned earlier, metaethics usually is not hyphenated, but I don't want you to start saying metaethics. It's metaethics. And when we think about metaethics, any kind of meta study. Sometimes you might have been in a course where they had you doing some metacognitive exercises. That is, when you do solve a certain kind of problem, they then ask you to sit back and think about what it was like to solve this problem. So it's a question about what the problem was. In the same way, metaethical questions are questions about normative ethics. Sometimes they're questions about what are the meanings of morally right, or what are the meanings of good? What kind of meaning does it have, to try to explain exactly what's gone on in metaethics? And another question is a general question: how can ethical judgments at all be established or be justified? A related question is, how do you know anything about ethics? And another metaethical question has to do with the question of whether there are objectively true moral principles or whether it's entirely a subjective question. Now, questions like this about normative ethics, about ethical theories, are metaethical questions, and they are something that are they are philosophical studies of ethics. Now, in addition to which, and this has really come up in the last 40, 50 years, I think maybe 30 to 50 years, and it has become a large discipline, is applied ethics. Now, what's applied ethics all about? Applied ethics is about applying the ethical principles that are discovered through the normative studies to resolving issues. Oftentimes they're contemporary issues like abortion, euthanasia, that is mercy killings. These are questions sometimes, and we call them in bioethics. We actually teach a course. It's ethical and moral problems in we teach a course in bioethics. Questions about war and terrorism arrive. What is a just way to fight a war? Is terrorism ever permissible? Others that I haven't outlined that we actually teach course on business ethics, ethical problems in business and society, Philosophy 6800. It's a question of applying the ethical theories and the principles that follow from these ethical theories to moral issues that arise in business. We're going to start a course next semester about an applied ethics course in criminal justice ethics, that is, applying ethical questions to ethical problems that arise in policing, in the court system, in the correctional facilities. These are questions, and it's not just sitting around having a discussion. Oftentimes people have discussions about morality and applying it to these things, but here it's being done in a somewhat rigorous way, understanding that you're appealing to normative theories. And part of this is also justifying the positions on these various practical ethical questions, justifying the positions on the claims that you're making in terms of what is right and what is wrong. So these two, here we have two additional kinds of study. In addition to normative ethics, there are metaethical questions and questions of applied ethics.